Hey guys, Monks2 here of course, and today we're discussing the Tallin. Now, let's go to modules here. Aiming systems is pretty much the good choice here. Good dispersion is pretty much the go-to for most things. In this case for Tallin though, you can spec a gun mod that has pretty reasonable AA, around about 80 there, so specking for A is not a bad choice. But aiming systems is usually generally what I prefer. Propulsion mod here is pretty good. Obviously propulsion mod we've discussed before every time, pretty much every video. Propulsion mod is such a good mod, and it's almost always required that you should, it's almost advised every time. Steering gears, it can work for Tallin though. You could go double rotor build. I actually recommend steering gears over concealment because the Russian cruisers don't really have the best concealment, and your steering and your rudder shift is pretty abysmal, so you can spec double steering here, but I don't think it's worth it. I think it's prop mod and the rudder mod, but hey, it's each their own. I do recommend some sort of steering mod. Something to note, the Tallin's stock hull is improved by getting the hull upgrade, and I mean by the armor wise. As you see, the armor here is got coatings of thin blue armor here that is probably easily overmatchable by some cruisers, and it's really you're gonna get punished pretty heavily by plunging shells, by pretty much anything. And you get her first hull upgrade, it bumps up to 25 all around pretty much. It's very similar to a Hipper hull, except instead of the 27mm plating along the sides and everything, it's 25. I'm not going to go too much into the armor scheme here. It does have a turtleback, it doesn't work very well. Icebreaker is good, 27mm plating on the top deck. Angling will help you because of the 25, assuming you get the hull upgrade. So first upgrade recommended, get the hull upgrade. That is definitely something that will help you play the Tallin. He's very squishy. I'm looking at this armor scheme, it doesn't look very squishy. It is very squishy, very easy to get hurt pretty comfortably in Tallin. If you have the hull upgrade, you're pretty tanky against cruisers, but battleships will still give you a hard time. Unless you're 14-inch guns, you can bully them pretty comfortably, but 14-inch guns and 15-inch guns, depending on the angle, you can do some work. But yeah, as I said, you gotta be careful. 40mm angled deck slopes is important, means the Georgia can't overmatch your Citadel, but odds are the Georgia will just plunge right in, straight through, just by more of a direct angle anyway. It doesn't actually have to overmatch your Citadel, it just needs to penetrate it. So yeah, I'm not going to go too much over the armor scheme there, sorry. So onto the commander here. I'm actually going for Ivan B. Delightful, the event commander, if you have him, with his base skill is find me, reload, and cruiser tactical unit firing, pretty handy. Beyond range, intuitive is really good for the Tallin because it does buff your radar a little bit. It's not much, only 0.8 seconds, but it does help. And the 9-kilometer radar is really short, and every little time helps. Also, twist and track, giving it a twist and track, and buffing your zone duration hill is really good. Punch through, as obviously this boat is very focused on AP, and his legendary special skill, Fear My Roar, with additional dispersion. We're going for refill station, Philip Vian for additional incoming fire dispersion, and Min Belly for reload. So we're really going to the reload here with the base trait and everything, legendary skill, all that. It gets a pretty spicy reload. Now, if you don't have Ivan, Kuznetsov is your go-to guy. Same build basically. The only difference is because we don't have the final skill here, fixated. We're using fixated instead of Fear My Roar. You don't run. You just run Norman Scott for additional dispersion, accuracy at range. So yeah, it does bump up the reload a little bit, but hey, I think that's perfectly fine. You could go for a reload build on Kuznetsov as well. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much that. You know, Tallin's an interesting boat. Be aware that it can easily get death struck very quickly, and you definitely get the hull upgrade first. So that's something to note. Anyway, let's go and put a match here, and we'll take a look. Now, we have a division mate here, Celeste in the sit-up, and we have your boy in the Jervis. We'll fast forward to the start of the game here. There we go. So, AP, primary ammunition choice for Tallin. You'll get a lot of good results with AP. I've death struck DDs with AP. The AP is very good in this boat, and you really should be using it as much as possible. The Tallin's place in this tier 6, I believe, is very similar to the Graspy at tier 5. It's kind of like the cruiser that bullies all other cruisers and even some battleships, whatever you shoot, as long as it's AP. Yeah, really recommend not switching to HE as much as possible. Obviously, the destroyers you should switch to HE. Heavily angled battleships you should switch to HE. But pretty much anything that gives a resemblance of a broadside, and I mean battleships as well, you pretty much should shoot AP. Carrier's going for us. We do have some decent AA. I didn't spec the final mod there, but guys, it's not a bad consideration. You could spec for this, but again, not every game is guaranteed to have a carrier. You do have that radar here, slightly angled York here. We're going to shoot the AP anyway. We got to keep an eye out for that New Mexico. We can't angle against them now. And you can see the AP is just absolutely brutal. 5 penetrations, 3 overpens. I think because he was angled, we couldn't actually get the Citadel penetrations. Just a little bit too much armor to get through. York is pretty down tanky. We're just going to take these torpedoes from the carrier. We can't really avoid them too much. We're just trying to turn away, trying to take them on the belt, but it doesn't really do too much, fortunately. New Mexico, we're kind of getting broadside. We just need to keep an eye on him and be aware. What was that? The guy's in it, yeah. That's pretty risky. Firing broadside, New Mexico. Again, the AP is pretty much your primary weapon of choice here. New Mexico, we can bounce salvos, and there you can see 3 penetrations there. Again, the AP is basically what you want to go with. We fired like twice this game. We've already got 21k. Is pretty darn good, the AP in this thing. Pop the radar here just to see what's going on with that York. If he was pushing, if there's any DD in this cap. The sort of reasoning is there for it. If you're planning to hunt down a DD using the air radar, it's more of finishing off than killing and, you know, from full health. You just don't have enough time. Realistically, you've got 2 salvos and that's pretty much it. Even if you're running intuitive or like, yeah, just think it's just intuitive, yeah. It does help though, it does tell you where the closest boat is, and you can see the results. Again, 7 penetrations on that almost broadside New Mexico, but it wasn't even fully broadside. York pushes out to try and get rid of our division mate there. He makes his mistake and he pays for it. Not very forgiving, the Tallin. It's pretty darn merciless with this AP. We're playing quite far back here because we gotta give respect to these battleships. All it takes is one good salvo, even angled, and it would still hurt pretty darn dramatically. So we take some of that. Nah, we dodged it there. Philip Vian really kicking in there, fortunately. Your boy, oh, he's having a rough time. It's very rough. Oh well, okay, it's okay. We're gonna pump in here, get some of that. Now we are getting pretty close to this island here. We need to be careful here. Russian DDs, Russian cruisers with my build here, we have actually extended our detection range because we're using Ivan. So we're not going to go dark anytime soon here. We're heavily angled though to both the Gneisenau and that New Mexico. So we should be okay. But we need to worry about that Colorado because he's pretty darn terrifying. Okay, we bounced that and we dodged the rest of it. That's good. New Mexico's got island cover. Colorado's also got island cover, but we need to try and get some damage in on somebody. So again, broadside Gneisenau. I have Citadel Gneisenau's. Oh, that island really took that salvo there. That was pretty unfortunate. Alright, so let's see. Yeah. Just again, you need to play this cautiously. We've already lost 10k health, by the way. It doesn't really seem like we lost too much health these engagements. We've traded pretty well, I thought, but we've only got 36k left. We've only got 36k like total, so it's not much health to play around with when you're kind of messing with battleships. All it takes is 1, 2, 3 good salvos, you know, a little bit of chip fire to wear you down, and that's all she wrote, really. Gotta give that Colorado some respect. You gotta give the battleships plenty of respect. Cruisers you can bully around a lot more, but battleships you definitely gotta give the respect. We kind of shoot back, underlead the Gneisenau. I think we do the same shot again, kind of underlead, but still 3 penetrations is not bad. I'm pretty sure if we had aimed a little bit more forward, probably could have got a Citadel. I'm pretty sure we could actually. So try and finish off Gneisenau while we still can. We make sure to aim a little bit more forward than we did last time, and we almost hit dead center mass there, and we just aim a little bit high though, but we get all the results we need. Ooh, Colorado's pretty darn scary right now. We're gonna blap him though from the side. He's presenting somewhat of a broadside, and it really doesn't matter what its ship is. You'll murder if it gives you broadside with AP. And that's already kicked up to 75k, by the way. We're really raking up the damage. Tallin can really dish at the damage, but again, it's very easily killed if you're not careful. You need to be constantly watching. Any random salvo can easily just dead strike you. That's what the Russian cruisers can do. Easily send you a new one right back to port just from the get-go. All it takes is 1 or 2 good salvos, and you really can't afford to take any hits. You don't have heals. You need to be very careful. That being said, being too far back and just farming damage is not always the play that's going to win you games. So pushing is always good, but just be careful to use islands and cover, because this thing is not good medium range. It's more long range, good long range for the guns, and good short range with the icebreaker hull. And it does in fact have torpedoes. 4 kilometers, yes, but it does have the torpedoes. It means you can rush things down in late game, basically. Russian ballistics, you're probably going to have a rough time shooting over islands. This is pretty close though. 11 kilometers is pretty close for ships here. And yeah, that doesn't really matter. He's already out. Ghanai's now, we've been farming since the start, I believe. Could be a different Ghanai's now, I'm not sure. We're just going to take another pot shot at him. Oh, can we secure this kill? He's already on fire. Yeah, there we go. We just murdered him. We basically pinned everything we had on him. It's pretty rough. Pensacola and something else shooting at us there. I need to see another cruiser, Königsberg. Okay, there we go. So yeah, Pensacola just got himself ripped a new one. I think that was by Silisto, and he's giving a remote broadside to a Tallin. So yeah, he's out. Yeah, Königsberg is kind of heavily angled here. This is a tier 4 cruiser, but it's a German tier 4, relatively tanky actually. So you can see what we do to him just when he's angled, and that's pretty much the only reason we don't Citadel, because he was partially angled. That's just pretty darn rough. Königsberg makes a very bold choice, and he basically gives broadside, and yeah, that was pretty rough. We did get saved with the bell. 6 overpens there. Pretty lucky on his part. I think that shot from Slisto, again, very lucky on Mr. Königsberg's side. 8 overpens. Oof, he's getting very lucky here. And hopefully we can try and finish off this Königsberg. We're just going to keep the AP going right here. I believe Silisto tries to get that, and then we just finish off the Königsberg, just upper deck there, of course, because he was bow tanking us. And we do pick up the Kraken, which is amazing. So really good. It's the thing about Tallin is you can get a really good game out of Tallin, but it won't be the cracking amazing game, because either the game ends or you've taken too much damage as a result of doing what you're doing. So you can get good games of Tallin, and I have played this quite a bit. I think it's really upgraded Tallin at this point. But I felt this was the game I could feature, and other games, they do work, but the amount of damage you have to take sometimes to dish out can be a lot, and winning plays is a lot different than just getting fancy results sometimes. So yeah, it's a really strong boat, as you can see, dishing out the damage. Well, 5 bounces. I mean, I know he's angled, but he has a carrier. He should be very weak. No, this is where you might want to switch to HE. That's a funny thing. Can he pick up the 6 kills actually? I guess get 6 kills here. So close. Maybe if you had HE. Oh, Silisto just takes it the right end. So yeah, carefully played, and pushing at the right time, conserving your health as much as possible. Tallin can absolutely kick ass, and it murders just cruisers, just murders them, and battleships. So anything broadside really. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope this helps you out, and as always, catch you next time. Bye for now.